Hello you guys, this is another energy update. I wanted to hop on and just share fast what is happening for us, what we are working through. And if you did not check the video I did before about the nature of the reality and the 12 realms, then that's kind of handy video about understanding how reality works. I will expand on that one because I forgot a couple of things and a lot of things as well. Through the process when I was recording it, I had some aha moments. usually when you start writing things down and explaining for someone, then you get your own revelations about the stuff. At the moment, where we are at in this evolution thing, if you noticed, last year, I think in November, we were sort of pulled out from our stagnant states or whatever we were working through. We were sort of pulled out of it, and something happened in that time. A lot of people moved in that time, and we moved as well. And we were placed in a place where let's say, we each and individuals, like all of us, maybe we're not just really pulled out into different spots, but maybe you lost a job, or maybe some relationship broke, or you lost a dog, or there were losses. Obviously, we were pulled into our own individual timeline. Even though we are existing now, we are a little bit more separated on the those who are going more into the destructive timeline, the old 3D stuff, and then those who are more on the ascension timeline, how they call it. I'm not sure if there is any ascension, honestly. We come from all sorts of places, so this is gonna be very different for each and one of us, but we were sort of regrouped, and you were pulled into your reality bubble where you're gonna be working through your individual lessons, sort of. I don't want to say lessons because usually we just invested too much focus, attention, or the programming, or we have tons of limiting beliefs how the reality works and what we are buying into. We invested too much of our consciousness into particular realm. I call it the realm within the realm, and you're gonna be working through those limitations and fears what you have. Let's say even the fear of death, that's another one. So that's definitely happened around last year, the end of the last year and the start of this one, and we are in it. 333, we are in it, yeah. So that's gonna be very different for each one of us. So I am working through lack consciousness, obviously, and especially because at the moment, we're gonna be seeing more and more a breaking of the old system and the attachments. And how it might look is that the new earth will look old, and the old earth will look new. So everything is artificial intelligence and that kind of a line that was designed specifically as a negative timeline that is going distinct anyway. That's why the new earth might look old, because we gonna be absent of that, or we gonna be experiencing only the positive attributes of the artificial intelligence. But you have to still hold this, otherwise you will not gonna be seeing it. So what the new earth might look for you is that you will be, first of all, I am experiencing it quite a lot. I'm being blissed out, and I am having a ginormous detachment from the pleasure realm of the 3D or the old structure or the new things what they are being created in that timeline as a hook. So you can get hooked up on something more money and fancy nancy stuff and all these glitters. So that's definitely what we are experiencing, is where you really invested a lot of your consciousness, like a big portion of it, so you can find it and retrieve it and like have your aha moments and like move more towards your authentic self. A lot of people are repeating their own cycles without even knowing about it, and a lot of them are avoiding the traumas and like working with the shadows because I mean there is a lot of information out there, and there is a lot of misinformation out there, and like I would say that the people would not know what is true and what is not true. So questioning everything, discernment. I think the first couple of cards I pulled this year was focus, discernment, and power. And it's already manifesting, you can already seeing it. We are looking a lot on our relationship to power and where we are still disempowering ourselves, or what is disempowering us, you know, how we are being manipulated or how we manipulate others, what we learned as well from our caregivers, the way we doing things, you know, and also school system or culture, what culture taught us, or ancestors, even though. So we're gonna be looking on these like connections we still have, which we would like to keep, or we're gonna break them because we are moving more towards to individuality. Because no matter what, if we are like all one and things like that, you still are individual aspect of the source. So your own spark is very unique. You got your own unique essence. You should start seeing it manifest like very unique way. So you don't have to fit into any sort of box that was given to you. So we're gonna be a lot looking on these boxes, which we are trying to either fit in or like and the limitations around it, you know, money, especially about money, because the financial structure is breaking. That still continue. We are a little bit stuck in this like our own reality, or in our own reality bubble, or our own timeline, and you will have some obstacles. We all have obstacles all the time, and those obstacles are very important to watch because there is the juice in it. Like there you are. If there is no obstacle, you would not find out where you have like limitations and programming, for example, because we are closely, especially this year, we are working so heavily like on that, on our minds. There are gonna be emotional battles, like, you know, within, and family karma. That's definitely something. And I think in planetary it is showing up as well in astrology. So there will be this like longing for the connections, but there will be as well frustration going with it. And it's gonna be probably until the end of the year, I would say. All these, it depends, like probably how are your planets messing up, or what you're working through. Some people working through, let's say, I don't know, relationships. Some people are gonna be working through the finances. Some people are gonna be working through, I don't know, karma. You know, you're gonna be breaking out the karma. What else is there? Creativity as well. A lot of people are stuck creatively at the moment. It's a big cocktail of the energies. Yeah, so the sort of like an alternative solution was created already in November, December for you, that you can work things through. So just like a recap to like revisit and have a look on that we don't forget what we are actually doing, because more of us doing the internal work faster it shifts. And that is as well the pitfall of those people who are all just like light and the unicorns, and they don't do any shadow work, because that's why we are being constantly, we are looping in this, and the construct is not closing down. But the message I got is the sealing of the entry point and template reality. I saw these beings working on this pool, so I think they are readjusting the construct itself, the template of the construct. And we're supposed to close this down. We came here to close it down, guys. You know, we did, you know, you incarnate, especially if you're on this video, you incarnated to close the shit down. We didn't come here to like perpetuate like the old construct. We came here to close it down and create a new one. And I don't know how many. I would say there are gonna be a lot of starseeds who are more creating the new ways, and then there are those of us who are just breaking it out. So we are the first line. We're taking the bullets, and the arrows. So we are exhausted, I would say. When our dog died, I like realized that I have no desire anymore, like to do anything anymore. So kind of it's interesting. What else? I wish I could get someone on to like contribute as well, like with all the energy updates, because it starts to be very individual. So I hope I get Jody on or someone like with me to speak a little bit about the energetics, because we're gonna be seeing more and more of the construct. And I think Jody was telling me that like she saw that some of us were picked up, and that's as well what I saw. But other people believe that we are taking the body with us, that we practically have to master the vessel. That would make sense as well from the perspective of the yoga, because practically when the DNA is changing, and you're becoming from the carbon base, you're going to the crystalline, there has to be a lot of changes done in the body. That means as well probably chakra system is gonna change, or we're gonna get rid of it completely. Because I heard people actually getting rid of the chakra system and the kundalini, which is interesting. I was thinking, okay, well, maybe it's my path too. But what I did for sure, which helped me ginormously, was create boundaries with the artificial intelligence and state out loud that you don't consent anymore to any type of manipulation which is not based on the love and integrity. And I delete all contracts which were based on fraud, lies, manipulation, and deception. And that you don't want any interaction which is not honest for the humanity. And yeah, based on love and integrity. This will help you because you will stop to be scrambled energetically. You have to allow them to exist, because as a yin and yang, for example, like it's not that we are made out of the dark and the light. No, we are not. We are light and the sound. We're not dark and the light. That's these realms option. All right. Anyone from the dark side has always the ability to go to the light, and anyone from the light side has the ability and the free choice to go to the dark. That's the yin and yang. It's not that we are made out of it. The structure of the reality is, you will be always experiencing polarity. So there will be always negative and positive, always. You have to allow it to be there, because that's how the reality actually works. But we are not made out of the good and bad and ugly. We're actually not. The original human design is only light and sound. So what we are practically clearing out right now, we are clearing out all the distortion in the energetics, and as well the family DNA, because the body has a memory, the ancestral line. So we are clearing that off as well, because that's all gonna go with you. I would highly suggest everyone to start educating themselves on the nature of the reality, because this year could be very good for you if you know how they say, bend the structure. So you have to command your reality. So that means first thing in the morning, like setting the intentions, like you have to be intentional this year. And I was saying that already on the start of the year, that's gonna be like fundamental. It's gonna be like really constantly telling yourself or reminding yourself that you have to consciously now create a reality. But first first you have to make the boundaries with the artificial intelligence now, because otherwise you would not receive the guidance the right way. It's gonna be always scrambled. It's definitely gonna help you with the clarity and consciously creating, like consciously, like really like a understanding that it's abundance is all around you. So when you open the door every day from your house and you go out into the world, use a segment intent that when you open the door, now where you're gonna go and you're gonna see only the good thing, you know, and the universe is gonna shower you with all the good stuff and opportunities and money and great friendships, and like just put it out there. We have to start doing it. I used to write here on my hand, just that that I remember it, because we keep forgetting. So I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna stick a little sticker on the door that I remember this, or I'm gonna write it down with the chalk in front of the house, because we create our own reality all the time. And it's oftentimes we were unconscious about it. So now it's a time to do it consciously, especially this year. You know, if you want to really have it a little bit easier, then that's really learning and studying the structure, and like, you know, there is so many books written. There are so many people explaining it in various ways, so that you can actually really educate yourself and understand how the reality is created, because that's the only freedom you have in your hands. Because you will hit the limiting beliefs, you know, you will hit the walls there, but it's good, because this way you will see it. If something doesn't happen for you, you know that there is something that you believe to be true about the reality. Let's say I had this unconscious belief that I came here to suffer. You know, I have to flip this. So I could end the suffering for myself. 2002, yes. So what you can do when you open the door as well, you can say that you want only the authentic experiences, and that you want to see everything as it is, that you want a truth and nothing but truth. You know, my crown tingles. And that you don't consent to any type of manipulation whatsoever. You will see, because like I realize that from this year I hear the construct, I hear the changes, and from this year I get the guidance. And this guy, I as well receive a lot of messages from my artwork, but this guy, you can see it, for example, on one of these drawings. It's the black and the left ear searching for the truth and searching for the pieces, the fragments which we invested. This is the void walker. This will help you with the shadow work as well. So I'm still working on the deck, more or less, and I'm almost done. It took me ages. And be careful about all kind of new traps. You have to use your discernment. So there are gonna be traps in the matrix. That's why it's important that you set the intention that you don't want any type of manipulation whatsoever, that you don't consent to anything, and that you delete all the contracts that they were made or based on the fraud, lies, manipulation and deception. And ask for the truth, you know. You need to state that you want to see the truth and nothing but truth. You want to see what you want to see when you want to see it, and that you want to see what you need to see as well, so that it gets faster. Because I think the biggest problem why this is still on and we are still kind of a looping and still repeating is because not many of us are doing the work on themselves. So that's why it's so slow. So another thing it's good to do is we have to remove the illusions of the woundedness. the moment you understand how the reality is created, how it works, and you understand why you incarnated in here, you have to stop pushing against it. You have to accept it. I created this acceptance bracelet for myself as well. I will have a couple of them for those of you who are having a hard time accept this incarnation. We have a lot of wounds, so but we have to remove the illusions of the woundedness, because you as a starseed, you are coming, I don't want to say that you are coming from some other places, but like practically this is not our home really. And most of us always felt that way, So I created this one for us as like a kind of I'm gonna jinx it as well. I'm gonna set some intention on it that it's gonna help us to go home or create a new home in here. It's an acceptance bracelet with auralite. It's like this mixture of amethyst. It's a very good stone. It's really calming, and it's as well removing all the negativity in here. And it helps to navigate in the difficult times. So, and it's on the white string that we remember where we're coming from as well. I will have them in the shop very soon. I've created a full line of these and a couple of other ones. But to removing the woundedness would be, you have to stop identify yourself as a broken person, as the one with the trauma, as the one with all those wounds. We are all wounded. Everybody is wounded. Everybody has a trauma on the earth plane. There is no exception. We all have it, all of us, because it was a requirement to actually incarnate in here. So, because a lot of starseeds are coming, like their consciousness is coming from a lot of different places. A lot of us are going to have a different paths how we actually get to ascend. What I saw that we were being picked up. Well, I didn't see me being picked up. I was watching from the spacecraft on the other spacecraft that you are picking up these little balls of light, like individual souls. But is it gonna be a truth for everyone? I don't know, because a lot of people believe that we are taking the body with us, and we have to do sort of the transformation, like as well the yogis are practically, all the yoga is designed for you to completely strip yourself of all this conditioning and woundedness, trauma, ancestral patterns. Everything will strip off you. But if you are, it's way easier said than done, and it's way easier to be done when you are in ashram, completely in that space dedicated to this type of transformation, so you can actually have, let's say, outdoor body experience. You can even stay on the other side the moment you shift to the other side, if you overcome the body. All the yogis knows this, they all know that. All the yoga is designed to break out of this construct. The body is practically keeping the piece of the soul, what you're coming from, let's say, different places. Let's say I've got a lot of incarnations on different planets, Arcturians, Andromedans, Orions. So, I had a lot of incarnations there. So when but I am existing on a spacecraft. So I'm projecting a part of my consciousness into this body to have the human experience, but I definitely didn't want to come in here yeah. So it was more of like, that's why I feel constantly so off this place. I don't feel home in here. It's very difficult for me to feeling home in here. And since all these, I started to doing all these energy updates, and suddenly I made the last video about the realms and about the nature of reality, and I shared my out-of-body experience. I start understanding it finally. Took me a long time. Dream state is gonna be at the moment quite intense. You're gonna be solving a lot of problems for the dream state. So working with the dream state is very beneficial. You can always set it that you would like to go home and you want to remember how the home look like. So I don't know how is it really gonna be looking. I would say that every one of us is gonna have it different. You know, the ascension, how they call it. Some people will be probably staying and creating more the new earth. But so far what I know energetically, you could be experiencing already this good stuff, the new earth, kind of like a blending through the old one into your new one. The new one into your old reality. You will have a little bit more magic. Suddenly everything will become a little bit more like a different colors or more sharper. You will have like these phenomenal synchronicities like going on. It's what I have that a lot. But it's good as well to creating as well something new, because you're still stuck in here. So if we are still in here, I'm always telling myself, okay, put me on the path, put me on the right path. If I came here with the mission, put me to do that, but I am not gonna do it in the poverty. So bring the money in if I need them. The thing is with the money and me, let's say for example, I'm gonna share this, is I can very easily imagine the world without the money. The problem with the people is that they cannot imagine the world without the money. They want the fame, they want the all the glitter, you know, and they want the money. They want the money to be here. I don't. You know, I want free energy, I want a free land, I want a roof above the head, which I don't have to pay for. And I want a magic and a cool education, like, you know, where everyone is helping and we are just sharing the gifts. I can imagine that there are people who love the land so much that their entire life is all about growing the vegetable or growing the food or maintaining the land. There are the people who are the herbalists that they all think about is just the herbal part. You know, there are the people who loves to build. You know, my daughter is like, she loves building stuff. You know, she loves Lego like crazy. She loves the Minecraft because she constantly builds. That's her favorite thing to do, right? Then there are people who are like healers, but we don't really need a healers. But I mean, you are your natural healer. You are your own healer. But still, like, you know, they could be dedicated, let's say, working with the artificial intelligence, the positive one, and we can get a med beds and, you know, and they can blend the technology, you know, they can use the energy, like kind of like a manipulating and mastering how to the energy. There are so many different people. There are so many people with so many different gifts. And if we can just exchanging those gifts, we will not need the money. We could live in a completely free world. So I can imagine that. But you know, how many people are like that? They can even imagine this. Very few. So money is a tool. The problem is that those people who constantly support this money stuff are a part of the problem as well. Because until we don't have a free energy and we still have a money, there will be always those who have them or who don't. So if you don't have a free energy, you will still have to constantly work in the construct, to power the construct, to pay for all this stuff what we have above our heads, then that's not gonna end. Even to establish new communities, you still have to buy a piece of land. I don't see Earth sitting in the office selling a parts of herself. But still the government is still set this way, like the rules are like that. So, you know, it's the construct. We're still in the construct, one way or another. The process of breaking all this down, well, another thing what is definitely going to happen, we still have to have the contact the extraterrestrials. That's it. That's inevitable. That's gonna happen for sure. So it's gonna be for the entire Earth plane, and then, well, there is still the genetic manipulation and the hybridization program, which still has to come out. So hard to say how this is gonna go, but like I would say by now you should be put already into some group of the people who are very similar in your consciousness and having a very similar understanding of how the reality works. we got a little bit regrouped. So a lot of the, let's say, even if you had like Starseed friends, or you have a healer friends, or you have friends which kind of buying or are still working through some of their stuff, you got a little bit ahead, you might be pulled out and put into the group of the people who are a little bit like more extraterrestrial oriented. For example, for me, Bashar showed up for me like in, I think, in December or in January, and I start diving into into his teachings. I read a couple of books, but I know these things already. I just needed a little bit different way. How is it formulated? And as well, it always brings me home. There is the frequency of home, which I feel, the extraterrestrial line, and as well, my daughter has the abduction mark. So, I am more going into. I was pulled into that direction suddenly, and other people now show up for me that I start listening, which are a little bit different than the stuff what I was like listening before. So I can start seeing it, and like I have got a little bit more directed into that extraterrestrial and contact group. But as well, I am on a very light diet, so I got as well the disposition for it, like for having all this magic and all these things what I'm experiencing. It's because as well I did a lot of work on myself first. I never got lost in the 3D construct. I don't have much attachments, I'm still wounded, right? So I'm still working through that. That's a big process for me. But I'm still going more into that direction because of how I am kind of wired naturally. Like because if I have too many incarnations up there, I can very hardly relate to the things in the earth plane, and I see the bigger picture, and I am quite, futuristic oriented, and I had a lot of dreams in that dream state is crazy these days. The dream state is very intense. So take your time as well, like to deconstruct your dreams. I was helping my friend deconstruct some of her dream, and I was telling her that it's very important that she does that, because more of us doing this type of work faster, it's gonna shift this shit. The message I got like a long time ago, I actually wanted to include it in the video before I did, was 7 years from the shift. So we are in 3.5 years at the moment. So we have a 3.5 year left. That's as well by the Bashar, that's the time for the physical contact with the extraterrestrials. So that's gonna be really interesting. So I would say like 3.5 years, and then we're gonna be seeing a lot of stuff. It's gonna be interesting, guys. So just that we have some framework, all right? That's why I like astrology as well, because like it at least gives me certain like a framework of okay, now we're gonna be working through, I don't know, family karma, so it's good to know, okay, this is gonna be for 5 months, we're gonna have this like a battle, emotional battles, and like a family karmic like imprints and bullshits, like which we still have to strip away. So that's for 5 months, and then yeah, we will see what's gonna happen. I'm gonna be updating you. I will put some of the bracelets out. They're really nice. You can pull this out and put it on, and it's very easy to put it on and up. It's gonna stay for a long. That you remember when you are opening the door that you have to set your reality as well. So I was thinking like I have to either ring or something that I remember that I have to be doing it. So I designed this one. They're gonna be in the shop very soon. I hope this helps you be mindful about what you believe to be true and how you're using the words, because a lot of you were even like emotionally abused, and here comes the gaslighting. There comes as well the financial abuse is in that group or in that bubble of the emotional abuses as well, financial abuse. So we'll be working through this kind of a shit right now because we are doing the family karma and emotional battles in the relationships, and the power, how the relationship we have with the power. So I hope this helped you guys, and I see you next time. We are moving forward. Don't lose your hope, but don't just hope, you know. You are a powerful being, so we don't do hope, we just do it, we just create it, you know. And I think that's what we came here really to do. It's like really leaving this place with as many pieces of the fragments that we left here in this game. We have to collect them, as many as possible, that we can feel more whole and as much powerful as possible, but like understanding the power you have. That doesn't mean that you're gonna be, you know, manipulating people or and stuff like that. I don't mean that. I mean the natural power of the creating the reality, for example. Just to really knowing and learning how to do this, because the life would get a little bit easier. Okay, so I hope that helps you guys. My body is quiet for 2 weeks, which is ginormous for me. There's no pain since I made the boundaries with the artificial intelligence. It's very important because, you know, all our street lights are changed, and you can see that they are manipulating the frequency. We are being manipulated. Everybody is being manipulated without even knowing. You know, the frequency I'm hearing, like, it comes through all sorts of things. First the 5G, you know, then, you know, we've got tons of stuff. And the sun, I think yesterday we have a first time, after a very long time, the sun was a little bit yellow, and I was like, wow, we have a probably original sun for a while. I would not be surprised if that artificial sun, which is white very often, does something to our skin. So just proceed with the caution, you know, because nothing is as it seems. You are in a construct and you are in your own hologram, and you have to master that. Okay, I see you next time, guys. I'm sending you a big virtual hug. If you need me, you know where to find me. Okay, be good. Bye.